What's up guys, let's talk about top 5 strongest player in Mafia City. This is a controversial topic, I will say. The reason why I don't make videos like this was because it's just not sure who's the strongest player in the game. There will be always someone telling you that it's not right, this player is better, this player is better. After thinking about it for some time, and you guys was requesting this for a long time, so I think I will try my best to rank these players. And from this time, every migration we will be making a top 5 strongest player in the game along with top 5 strongest clan in the game. So I will try to keep this as fair as possible. As always, you can just let me know what your top 5 strongest player in the game are in the comment section below. The way I'm going to rank these players is going to be along how active they are recently, what's their stats are, what's their strategy are. That means renegades, guys. It just not means that you have high power, that you're strongest player in the game. How much active you are in the past also matter, and the way you use your renegades also matter, because this is something that is very underrated. A lot of players that doesn't have like max out stats, but they are very good with renegades. So renegades are important part of the game, so I think this one should be counted. So based on all of these things, I'm going to rank these players. Now let's start with number 5. At number 5 was the hardest for me because there are a lot of contender for this spot. I was very confused between MC Brutal, Sanat from 1431, yeah, New City, and Brian from 236. So these three players was very active in the past, and I was thinking which one should be at number 5. And after thinking about this sometime, this is very close and it can be any one of them. I will be saying that it's going to be a tie between Sanat and Brian. Yes guys, Brian and Sanat. Sanat was able to almost zero MC Brutal, but Brian was the one who took the raid from 920. It was a city raid, but he was ready for this, and he was able to take a full city raid from the strongest player in 920, currently at 1431. So I think that these two players are very strong and their stats are very similar. So I think it's a tie between these two players. It can go anywhere. And yes, MC Brutal is also very near this, but I think that the little lack in his strategy when he went offline without preparing that somebody can attack him, that's cost him his 5th spot. So I think this is going to be between Brian and Sanat. So that is going to be number 5. Now let's move on to number 4. At number 4, we are going to put a player that not a lot of you guys talk about. It's Ashura, I believe. Yes, a lot of players call him Ashura. He's the one I made a post on my channel, community post. I was asking, he's the one who have the highest bulker in the game. It was 6.3k. He's a very strong player, guys, and he like to fight alone a lot of time. I've seen his stats. I have seen how good he fight, and he is literally almost fearless. He will lose a lot of troops, but he will still continue to fight, and his renegade game is also very good. So that's why I think he deserves number 4 spot. Also his stats are, guys, almost maxed out. He's very near in terms of maxing out bulker stats. I think he's very near Yummy in terms of bulker stats, so I think he deserves to be in top 5. That's why I'm going to put him at number 4. Now let's talk about number 3. At number 3, I'm going to put Boss from TGF clan. Yes, the most aggressive player in Mafia City. By the way, if you haven't watched that video, I will be giving video link in the description. You can watch that. So this one is going to be Boss from city number 366. He's been a game for a very long time. He plays bulker, he plays piker, he plays shooter. That's the thing not a lot of players can do, to switch between all 3 stats. So Boss from 366 is going to be at number 3. I don't think I need to say a lot about him. I already talked in detail about him in my most aggressive video, so you can watch that. But yes, at this moment, he is going to be at number 3. At one time, he was the strongest player in the game, but now competition is tough, but he's still hanging there and he's at number 3. Now let's move to number 2. I know some of you guys already know number 2 and number 1, but I will give my opinion about this, and it was very close, guys. Very close. These two players are one of the best player right now in the game, and it was a very close competition. But at number 2, I'm going to put Monkey Reload from city number 688. Yes, his Renegade game is, guys, very good. Also, his stats are also almost maxed out. His bulker is, guys, top tier. He also plays biker, and I think he also plays shooter. Somebody correct me in the comment section if I am wrong, but he play all of these three stats, and his stats are also almost maximum, and he gave the strongest player in the game, the number one player in the game, a run for his money. But he's very close. Despite of that, I think that number one player is just a little bit better than him, but he's very close. Maybe next migration he's going to be at number one, but for now he's the second most strongest player in the game. Monkey Reload, guys, he came out of nowhere just two migration before. Not a lot of people talk about him, but he just came out and dominated, and it's a close competition between number one and number two. So after thinking about it for some time, I think he deserved to be at number two. Maybe in future we will see as the number one player in the game, but for now he's number two. Now, number one, guys, I know a lot of you guys already know, most of you guys already know, it's going to be Yummy from city number 39. 10 billion power. Yes, guys, 10 billion power. Not just power. 6,000 plus bulker, 6,000 plus biker, and 6,000 plus shooters. The guy is almost maxed out. Everything in his account is maxed out. His Renegade game is also very good, but he still needs some work on that in his strategy. That's why number two player was beating him. But his shooters, guys, are very, very strong. I don't think anybody is near him in terms of shooters. Yes, some players are beating him in terms of bulker, but nobody is beating him in terms of shooters. I'm not sure about bikers, but he plays all of these three stats, and all of these three stats are almost maxed out. So he's the number one player in the game. His power, his stats, his Renegade, everything just shows that he's just so dominant. When it's come to city versus city, it can be a different game. But when it's come to player versus player, I don't think a lot of players in the game can hang with him. And the number two player is hanging with him despite being disadvantage of 7 billion power. Just shows that how great number two is. But this is also just shows that how dominant number one player is. He's been the strongest player in the game for very, very long time, and maybe it's not going to change very soon. Yummy is the number one strongest player in the game as for this moment, so he's going to be at number one spot. So that's my top 5 strongest player in the game ranking. You can let me know in the comment section what you think about this and what are your top 5 strongest player in the game. And I will be leaving you at that. Make sure you like and subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.